Welcome everyone. This is Coaching in Session. My name is Michael Rearden and I will be your mindset coach today. And today we're going to be talking about mindset skills. Now, mindset skills are simply going to be the ideas that we talk about all the time on the podcast, but more specific. For example, I talk about positive thinking all the time on the podcast. It is a mindset skill. Many people don't realize that it is a mindset skill. They think it's just their mindset. There does come a power when you use your mindset skills properly. For example, let's say your boss calls you on your day off. You don't want to answer the phone because it's your day off. You are so stressed, you're so tired, you need a day to recoup. Do you answer the phone or do you not answer the phone? This is mindset. If you answered the phone and you say, "Hey boss, how you doing?" Boss says, "Doing well, we're short staffed, can you come in?" You say, what do you say? Do you say yes? Because they're short staffed, do you want to help out? What type of person are you? Or do you say no? You're looking at yourself. You need this day off. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. Maybe you don't need the money. So what do? Mindset skills are going to help you see which choice is going to be more valuable for you. These 10 skills that I'm going to be talking about today are going to be different for everybody. They're in no order. The top 3 or the first 3 are maybe my top 3. And maybe even the methodology that we use at Reven Concepts for our coaching programs. And it's important that you find a coaching program that's going to resonate with you. For example, number 4 that we're going to be talking about today, emotional intelligence EQ. As you know, I don't care how you feel. I don't care if you're tired. If our goal for the day is to get up and go work, we're going to get up and we're going to go work. F your feelings, F your comfort. We are trying to get out of that. Versus if you are more maybe on the emotionally intelligent side, you might say, well, self-care day. I work so hard. Let me have some ice cream. Depending on your mindset skills can be an issue. If you remember what we talked about on the issues with mindset on that episode, if you haven't, check it out. We talk about there's issues with mindset, but many people don't realize the issues until they're finally neck deep in them. And I'm here to tell you that we can look at the skills rather than the issues, but we have to know about the issues so we can focus on the skills. So let's take a look at this blog right here and begin to look at our mindset skills and how we can apply those in our life today. All right, everyone, if you're new to the channel and the podcast, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and to share this video and or audio to help build a community of growth-minded individuals. Today, we're going to be talking about TOS Part 54, and it's going to be about mindset skills. Just a heads up, a tune-up series, a TOS, is what we're going to be talking about. TOSs require people to have strong mindset foundation already. If you don't have a coach, if you can't afford a coach right now, if you don't want to invest in a coach, continue to listen to the podcast, continue to read the blogs that come out, check out some of the ebooks that we have on the website. You're going to find that you can get a wealth of mindset information here at Reven Concepts. And what we want to do is to give you this information so you can begin to change your life immediately. Not, when I'm ready or when I have the time. I mean, we're always on our phone. We're always doing something, but yet we always make time for the things that are insignificant, like sitting on the sofa or relaxing. Sometimes you have to push past that comfort and create a habit, a routine, let's call it that, that's going to be more disciplined and it's going to help you fulfill more in your day, more in your life. Mindset skills will help you do that. So let's take a look at these mindset skills, and then I'm going to break them down in the episode, and then we're going to come back to them. The first mindset skill we're going to be talking about is number 1, embrace a growth mindset. The second mindset skill is going to be harness the power of positive thinking. The third mindset skill is going to be build resilience. The fourth mindset skill is going to be cultivate emotional intelligence. I call it EQ. Emotional intelligence has many different meanings. I have many episodes on emotional intelligence, but EQ is a different understanding of emotional intelligence that we're going to be focusing on for number 4. 5, practice self-compassion. 6 is going to be nurture optimism. Skill number 7, embrace adaptability. 8, take initiative with proactive thinking. Skill number 9, practice problem solving. And then 10, practice mindfulness. Now, I said early on, these skills are in no particular order. You can go in any order you want, but these are examples of mindset skills. Are these the only 10 mindset skills in the whole entire world and universe? No, there's many more mindset skills that you can have and adapt. I'm going to be giving many examples. We do have some examples here in the blog. An easy read for my TOS people, for my people who have strong mindsets, my longtime listeners. You know the deal. We want you to succeed in these mindset skills because they will help you succeed in life. So let's start to break down each of these skills in order. And then from there, we can talk about the benefits, maybe even some of the cons of focusing on some or maybe all of them at once. I talked about there's going to be pros and cons to mindset skills. It's almost similar to the issues with mindset because a skill that you have, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be a skill that you use. For example, maybe you're a skilled carpenter. You love carpentry, you love building stuff, but maybe you don't like building stuff for people. So people always ask, hey, can you build me this table? Because they go to your house, they see you have a beautiful table, and now you have a full business building tables. But you don't find joy in building tables. You find joy in doing different things. I want to build this, I want to build that. But yet you're stuck building tables because everyone wants a table. Do you say yes or do you say no to building the table? It's the same concept as if you say yes or say no when you want to go into work, if your boss calls you to go into work. Mindset skills are going to be helping you look at the situation that's at hand. The situation can be good, the situation can be bad. If I get bad news and the news is definitely not something I want to hear, guess what? I'm going to give myself a mindset skill at that moment. I'm going to say, okay, not a problem. Let's look at the good. Okay, well, the good is I'm alive. At least I know that much. I can breathe. I can try again. That's the good. That's a mindset skill, to have that optimism. It is one of our steps. We are going to be talking about that. But so you have a premise of what mindset skills are, then you will understand the benefit that you're going to get from each of these different skills. In skill number 1, we're talking about growth mindset. In the blog, we can learn from every single situation, any experience that we have, good or bad. If you do something for the first time, for example, I was in Toastmasters for a little bit. Toastmasters is a great organization for people who are trying to build their public speaking acumen, and they're saying, I want to be the best public speakers and I want to do all these competitions and I want to do TEDx talks and stuff like that. There's nothing wrong with that. However, just because you want to do these things in your Toastmasters club, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to grow from it. If we look at the statistics, if you are in Toastmasters, you typically are a better public speaker at the end of it. That is what is geared toward, making you a better public speaker. But someone might not want that skill of growing in a group of individuals that are going to help me with my public speaking. Maybe they want to start a podcast. Maybe they want to go on talk shows. They want to do it different. But yet, they try Toastmasters because everyone in the world is saying you have to join Toastmasters. It's so good. So they join Toastmasters. They learn that it's not for them. Do they say Toastmasters is a terrible organization? Toastmasters, I didn't learn nada. It is just not a good program. The people who were running it were jokes, and you just give everything negative about Toastmasters. But a mindset skill would be, I'm going to look at what I learned from Toastmasters. You have a growth mindset. Whatever your situation is, you grew from it. You might have learned that Toastmasters wasn't for you. What is for you? You grew from that bad or that negative experience, or maybe the experience that wasn't uplifting enough for you. It could be a Chambers of Commerce thing, where you join a Chambers of Commerce, you join a networking club. I think there's also business ones, like business networking that people do. Those can be a good thing. They could be a bad thing. And you might say that you're going here and you just waste time. But yet, if you have a growth mindset, you say, I met a person. Okay. It doesn't matter who the person is. I am networking. You might have clients. You might have followers, whatever it be. You interact with one of them. You are growing. You are creating the habit, a growth mindset. The growth mindset doesn't stop there. It goes so much more. Growth mindset is helping you just understand that there's so much out there. But when you can see the good in the situation, you grow from the situation. A growth mindset can help you learn and experience things a lot better. Then we get into step 2 or skill number 2. We are going to be harnessing the power of positive thinking. One of the things that I wanted to push when I was creating coaching in session, when I was creating the business, Reven concepts, I said I want it to be positive. I don't necessarily want it to be too negative because it takes, 3 negatives or something like that to get rid of one positive. There are some studies that say you need 5 positives to get rid of one negative. I have found 3 is a good number. You can even go as low as 2, depending on the person's mindset. If I get negative news, it probably takes me 2 positives to get back or get rid of that negative news. But the moment that I'm cooking now, I'm not going to just keep looking back at that negative news and say, oh my God, I'm looking at this negative news. Let me not be positive. There comes a detriment when you only focus on the negative, and there becomes a positive when you look at the positive. So you want to look at, how you can look at the positive more in your life. If you got a flat tire, okay, I got a flat tire. This does not feel good. This sucks. Maybe it's even raining or snowing. You can say, okay, well, now I get to enjoy this experience of putting my tire on. It's a hard mindset to attain. Many people, they only look at what's happening right now. Is it good or is it bad? That's what it is. But there's this aspects to being positive at any moment. It might seem sucky. It might be inconvenient. But if you can keep a positive mind, you can do great things. So it might be a very bad situation. You can look at it in a positive light. Depends on what the situation is, of course, but train your brain to be more positive than negative. It takes some time. Then we get into skill number 3, build resilience. Building resilience can mean many different things. It can be that you're building resilience in the gym. You're building resilience in your mind. You're fortifying your mind. Many people, believe it or not, they're afraid to fail. The FOMO, fear of missing out, or the fear of failure, the FOF, fear of failure. Guess what? Many people will try to avoid their fears because they're afraid that they come in reality or they come to reality. But yet many fears are not going to kill you. Many people are like, I'm afraid to step in front of 100 people or whatever, right? Public speaking. Okay, well, I understand the brain can differentiate between public speaking and a lion is coming to kill me. It's very difficult to, say, well, what's the difference? Well, one's not going to kill you and the other one is. But fear is very tricky, very clever. It's going to say, well, both are going to, harm you. Your mind is a powerful thing, and it can also be one of your detriments. It could be one of your obstacles. So when you build resilience, you're building yourself stronger to any type of adversity that you might face, whether it be self or exterior from yourself. So if someone comes and attacks you and says, hey, I don't like your podcast. Hey, you're stupid. Hey, I don't like your message. You just need to stop talking. I mean, people can say mean things, but yet what do? Do I say, oh yeah, maybe they're right. Maybe I shouldn't do my podcast anymore. Maybe I should just not talk. Maybe I shouldn't just bring joy to the world anymore, or I shouldn't bring positivity to the world, whatever it may be. I decide, do I want to go through that hardship of dealing with these people? Or do I want to break down and say, you know what? I don't think this is worth it. Depending on your mindset, you have to build adversity. Then we get into 4, we talked about emotional intelligence. This is something that is going to be different for everyone. Some coaches swear on emotional intelligence. Therapists typically gravitate toward emotional intelligence. I want to only talk about EQ today. EQ is going to be understanding and managing your emotions effectively. So understanding is going to be not understanding just yours, but other people's emotions, and then managing your emotion. You do not have to manage anyone else's emotions. That is not your job. You do not regulate other people's emotions. Even though people might coerce you to say, yes, you are in charge of my emotions. You're making me unhappy right now. You're getting me ticked off right now. You're making me very upset, whatever it be. You might think, oh, maybe I should start to, look at other people's emotions before I look at mine. This is a tough pill to swallow. Maybe borderline mindset OD. Focus on your emotions first. When you can create an equilibrium of your emotional state, no matter what people do, whether they attack you, if they do this or they do that, you're going to be chill. And I mean, if you do like maybe get a little bit upset, it is not much. It is literally like just like boop, a little boop on the radar or whatever. You can learn from just managing your emotions very effectively. Many people, they get so upset because someone says something to them, someone did something to them. They become the victim so quickly. But if they can say, you know what, I'm not going to be the victim. I'm going to learn how to triumph over these negativities, these negative emotions that are coming my way. And then you can learn how to make them positive. So managing your emotions is going to be a better thing. Learning how to understand, not react, is going to be better for you long term. It's a mindset skill that many people in our world today don't have. They think they're being empathetic. They think they're being sympathetic, but really they're just being ignorant to that they have not mastered this mindset skill. So people who say that they're emotionally intelligent and they know a lot of emotions, check them, because you might find that there's moments in their life that they're not truly regulated there. This is something that is a lifelong practice. You're going to find there's some things that tick you off, and there's going to be sometimes you're just going to be like, whatever. Depending on what it is, you might find a lot of passion in certain aspects, maybe your job, your career, your relationship. But then there's certain things like you can care less about. If someone scratches your car, you might say whatever, but you might love your car. And you were like, oh, I'm going to be very upset if someone hits my car. Whatever, it's just a car. But yet you might have given yourself a mindset that if someone touches my car, I need to be angry. Emotional intelligence, EQ, is saying you need to learn how to manage your emotions, and then you need to know how to understand why you're angry. Because you have two options with anger: to get rid of it or to understand it. Many people try to get rid of it. I was a culprit of that also. I used to have the anger come within me and I wanted to use it. But then I said, no, I need to learn how to manage it. I need to learn how to make myself aware of that anger. I need to learn how to make myself aware of when I'm feeling angry and then what to do with it rather than what I was doing with it. My brother, for example, he's really good at managing his anger. Me, on the other hand, I was like, no, anger for me is just like my fuel, right? I'm tossing gasoline in the fire. I did not care. As we grow, we mature. And as we mature, we understand EQ a little bit better. Then we get into skill number 5, practice self-compassion. This one is going to be self-explanatory. Treat yourself with some level of kindness. Go to the gym. Look at yourself in the mirror. Say that you love yourself. You might find that the first times you do it, it might not be true. You might say, there's a lot of work I need to do. Maybe losing some weight, maybe changing careers, maybe you don't have the finances that you're looking to get. So you say, you know what, I can't have self-compassion for myself because guess what? My life is not perfect. Well, it's going to take a lot to get your life perfect. But what you can do is understand where you are, be happy where you are, in the sense that you can change your circumstance today. Self-compassion can do great things if you know how to use it, a mindset skill. Then we get into 6, nurture optimism. Are you a glass half full or a glass half empty? Is probably the most common question you have ever heard when it comes to looking at the brighter side, looking at the positive, being optimistic for what's coming next. If you say that you're a glass half empty type of person, you might have a longer journey than most. If you say the glass is half full, then you're probably on the right track to being effective, efficient, and maybe even mastering this skill, okay? It is going to take some time to learn it a little bit better, but what I will tell you is if you are more optimistic, you're more likely to take effective and direct action toward your goals and your purpose. Sometimes people are very passive about trying to accomplish things in their life. Oh, I'll do it later. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it when the pain is finally too much to handle. We don't have to do that. If you're optimistic for the future and you know how to take action, you put those two together, listen, you got the recipe for something good. And I want you to get it. I want you to make it. But it's going to require you to change your mindset and to master this skill. Then we get into skill number 7, embracing adaptability. Adaptability is just going to be, can you pivot when you need to pivot? Can you move when you need to move? Can you change when you need to change? Can you fill the glass the way it needs to be filled? Bruce Lee had a great saying. He says, be like water. And basically, be like water is mold where you have to be. He says if you take water and you pour it in a glass, it takes the shape of the glass. If you pour it in a vase, it takes the shape of the vase. If you pour it in a pan, it takes the shape of a pan. And we can keep going on, right? There's different shapes. Water molds to its environment. Why don't we? Many people, they get into the sense of, oh, this is too hard. I just grew up in the hood. I grew up in the ghetto. But yet they don't have to stay there. They don't have to adapt. They can change their container. If they don't like their bowl that they're in Chicago, maybe they say, you know what, I want to go to Texas. Cool. You do the work. You adapt, you pivot, you change when you need to change. Many people don't change until it's too late. Because again, number one, comfort. Number two, they don't have the habits built yet, or they have wrong habits built. So they just stay where they are. And then you have the aspect of they don't know how to do it. So if you are in this situation where you don't know how to adapt to different changes in your life, whether it be a divorce, a relationship, breakup, no relationship, trying to find relationships, maybe loss of career, loss of a loved one, a definite family, we have to know how to adapt to those situations and those moments in our life that are going to be inevitable. We learn from them. We grow from them. And then even going back to step number one, the situation, the growth mindset aspect of it. You adapted. Did you grow because of it? Now you're more effective because you grew from it. Then we get into skill number 8. That's going to be taking initiative with proactive thinking. Simply, this is going to be that you are planning ahead. Think of you are not just living for today, YOLO. Okay. The YOLO mindset is not this. A mindset skill is going to be, let's be proactive about what we're going to be doing next. When you reach one goal, do you have another goal behind that goal? Let's say your goal is to lose 10 pounds. Why do you want to lose the 10 pounds? Now you say, okay, I want to fit in this dress. Your goal is not to lose 10 pounds. Your goal is to fit in the dress. So we're going to say your goal is to fit in this dress. After you fit into that dress, what is your next goal? Oh, I want to be able to run a marathon. Great. Now we have a clear understanding of what we want to do. Anyone can lose 10 pounds. You could lose 10 pounds of muscle and be unhappy with that you lost 10 pounds. We are trying to get into that dress. We are trying to run that marathon. We are trying to be in that magazine or on that cover. We need to understand how to adapt and be proactive in our thinking. It's not just live in the moment all the time. It's about let's plan for the result. Let's plan for the end of where we want to be rather than where we are today. Most people think 1 or 2 moves ahead. Minimum, you should be thinking 5 moves ahead. No maximum, really. But if you can get up to 10 moves ahead, you're going to be in a really good situation. Ideally, start with 5, move up to 10. And then if you can grow from there, you're going to be that top 1% that everyone talks about. It's not going to be easy because you have to be consistent. You have to be always doing something. It's no days off. You're always looking at what's next, what needs to be done next. People want to sit on the sofa, watch movies, and do things that are, again, helping them grow. Those people are going to have a more difficult time with step number 8. Proactive thinking, bring something good with what you do. Skill number 9, master problem solving. Problem solving is this. My wife is mad at me. Why is she mad at me? I need to fix it. Many people who marry for happiness, that's going to be a you problem, and it's going to create an us problem later. I don't think people realize that. Marriage is not about how can you make me happy? It's how can I learn to be happy in this marriage so we can be happy together. That's what marriage is. That's what marriage should be. But many people in today, and this is why the divorce rate is so high, it's because many people are so focused on the singular. I'm focused on me only. And then you're supposed to make me happy. There's a discrepancy there. Because now both people are saying, you need to make me happy. You're not making me happy. And both people are like, well, you're not making me happy. So why should I make you happy? It's tug of war. Master problem solving. Sometimes mastering the problem is to understand the situation. Do you know what situation you're in? Do you know how to get through it? When I was a teacher, sometimes you would get these new teachers, maybe just started a couple years in, and they're not good at classroom management. Most beginner teachers are not good at classroom management, or they just don't have the skills yet. Me, I didn't have the skills. I had great classroom management. So typically you have one or the other. Don't fret. Do not fear. You can make it. Anyone can be a teacher if they have the heart for it. when you're dealing with the problems of a classroom, maybe you have a heavy hitter in the classroom, that those are the kids that maybe teachers or parents would say, oh, that's a bad kid. There's no bad kids. They're just kids that have more energy, or kids that are not learning because the teacher doesn't know how to be an effective teacher. I had minimal issues. I just had some students that would come from class doing negative things, and they would think that in my class they can do those negative things. But they learned eventually that it's not flying in my class. We grow. They learn where they can push and pull. For example, mom and dad. Most kids are afraid of their fathers. They're like, I don't want to go deal with father, like I don't want to go deal with my dad or whatever. Don't tell my dad. Don't tell my dad. Why? But yet with their mom, they're fooling around and they're doing all these negative things. Maybe it could be like a male thing. I don't know. But what I can tell you is that when there's a dad in the picture and he's the disciplinarian, things fix a lot better when it comes to problem solving in kids. Is it always the fix? No. Some men are extremely passive when it comes to raising kids. Not the best situation, especially if your kid is 7+. A father has to be present. They have to be active. They have to be the dominant figure in the household. You don't have to make all the money. It's not so much about money. I don't want people to think that if the man doesn't make the money, the household's going to fall apart. It helps because respect is going to be given by the wife, most likely. Easier for the kids to see that and say, I have to respect this person. There's many aspects to problem solving. It's not just marriage. I know I've been giving a lot of examples on marriage today, but master problem solvings can be, what can I do to bring down my debt? What can I do to make more money? What can I do to be more happy? What can I do to change the world? Problem solving is going to be looking at these aspects, these situations. And then we get into step number 10, practicing mindfulness. This can be many different things. For some people, practicing mindfulness is going to be meditation. It could be journaling or going to the gym, right? They're just being present in the moment. That doesn't necessarily mean that you have to sit down and do your meditation, or you always have to go to the gym to get your workout. We can be mindful of our actions. For example, creating mindfulness can be this simple. You get home from work, you go to the fridge, you maybe get some food to prepare for dinner, and then you are going to make yourself a healthy meal. You are being mindful of what you're eating because you're making a meal. You chose not to go to McDonald's or Burger King or whatever and get something fast. You said, I'm going to be conscious of what I'm going to eat. And then you're going to finish your meal. You're going to feel great that you had something good to eat. And then you have a choice again. You're mindful again too. Do you sit on the sofa and try to relax? Do you build that $1 million business that we talked about in the evening? Start to build your empire there, go in the office and get some work done, read some reading material. Maybe you're an evening person, you need to go to the gym. Are you doing those things? And if you are not doing those things, then you can become more mindful to it. Okay, I'm not doing these things. How can I do those things? So all in all, when it comes to TOS Part 54, mindset skills, we are looking at these 10 mindset skills. Number 1, embrace growth mindset. 2, harness the power of positive thinking. 3, build resilience. 4, cultivate emotional intelligence, EQ. 5, practice self-compassion. 6, nurture optimism. 7, embrace adaptability. 8, take initiative with proactive thinking. 9, master problem solving. And 10, practice mindfulness. Do not worry if you are driving right now, if you're listening to this podcast on your way to work or on your way home or maybe at the gym, head over to revenconcepts.com, head over to the blog, TOS Part 54, and you will see that these 10 skills are right there already written down. They have a great example in the beginning, and then they give a little snippet to what it entails. I went a lot deeper in the podcast, but when you're working through these mindset skills, I found it better to have it short than a super long paragraph, because when you're trying to enhance a skill, it has to be bite size. Because when you become effective at skill creating or skill creation, you're now going to be effective at now mastering the skills a lot faster because you make it super simple. That is what comes with mindset skills. The better you get at skill creation, the more skills you can amass. And the more skills you amass, the better suited you're going to be to take over the world, in the sense that you get to become the person that you want to be. The world might not be simply Oh, I want to be the top 1%, or I want to take over the government. I want to be the president. I want to do this. I want to do that. It can be, but most people, when it comes to their dreams and their fulfillment, beyond money, they're trying to find some type of meaning in their life. These skills can help you find meaning a lot quicker, especially the first 3 that we talked about today. If you are trying to make some changes, and if you maybe start to dabble into these mindset skills and you find that you're not consistent, get a coach, because a coach is going to help you not only develop these skills, but develop the habits that you can create new skills after you're done with the coaching. Our coaching here at Reven Concepts, we don't keep people for like a year or 2 years or whatever. This is not therapy. I am about results. If you want results, you come to Reven Concepts. And that is what we strive to do, give you the results as quick as possible, because you should be living the life that you want to sooner rather than later. Many people are just in the mindset that, oh, I'm not ready to do it. So they will suffer for 9 months rather than getting a coach for 3 months and then being where they want to be at 4 months in versus 9 months in, they're not there. And maybe they still think about getting a coach, but they realize that they're already too far down the hole. They say, what's the point? Well, the point is you can make a change in your life before the end of the year, or you can say 2025 is going to be my best year yet. Don't get into the habit of always procrastinating, waiting for the next year. Learn these mindset skills today. As always, if you need any help, reach out to us, revenconcepts.com. Email me, coachinginsession@gmail.com. And if you have any questions about mindset skills or any other mindset skills that you may want to incorporate in your life, depending on your situation, drop me a DM on one of my socials. We are everywhere where there's social media. You can choose whichever one you prefer. What we want to do is bring out the best in you today, not tomorrow. Remember, we're trying to problem solve. We're trying to practice mindfulness. We're trying to be proactive in our thinking. We're trying to adapt. We're trying to grow as soon as possible. Our mindset skills here and coaching in session, in every single episode, we teach you something. This is it right here. We might teach you just one thing in an episode, but they all have an application in what we talked about today. My name is Michael Rearden. I'm a mindset coach. Please share this episode with a friend who can benefit from mindset skills. And I will see everyone on the next episode of Coaching in Session. Until then, everyone take care.